Well, for the first time this season, I'm going to have a pop at the manager today because I just think he's got everything wrong in this game from first minute to last. And I think that's the genuine reason we've lost this game today. I don't think any Arsenal fan can say that Arsenal played particularly well today. I think they caused some problems, but the only real problems they caused were created by Manchester United's attitude to approach the game. And I still stand by everything I said in the lead up to this game, which is if we actually went for it today, we'd beat Arsenal. Because I just don't think this Arsenal team is that good, and I think that was proven today. They didn't really offer too much threat other than when we just sat back and allowed them to cause us problems. We'll go from the start of the game, and like I said, I'm pinning this one on the manager today. I think the team selection was wrong. I think you look at what's happened in the last couple of games, and Antony shouldn't have been starting. We should have tried either playing Garnacho from the start, maybe play Elanga from the start, or just play how we did against City, whereby you put Bruno out wide and bring an extra midfielder in. I think the decision to take Fred out of the team, or take Fred out of the team from the Man City game to not play Fred, was a massive mistake because we just gave Odegaard the freedom of the midfield, which you can't do. He's Arsenal's most important player. You need to keep someone on Odegaard at all times, and we just didn't do that. And that's what then obviously led to chances later on in the game. And so from that perspective, it was a bad start. We obviously got the goal. It was a good goal. Mistake from Ramsdale, in my opinion. He's played with Marcus Rashford long enough to know that Rashford never goes for the curlers into the far post. So what Ramsdale's doing, taking 2 steps to the left before Rashford smashes it in his near post. I don't really know what Ramsdale's doing. We'll get back to goalkeepers in a moment. The second goal. I suppose the second goal of the game, the equaliser, is just a multitude of errors. Again, begins with the tactics from Ten Hag. All of a sudden, we're doing the Martinez to De Gea goal kick again. We hadn't been doing that for a little while. We've been a little bit more expansive with our goal kicks, either playing it directly into midfield, hitting it long to Weghorst like we did in the Crystal Palace game. But to decide to go back to the mistakes that cost us against Brentford way back at the start of the season, to start doing that against a team against Arsenal is absolute suicide. Obviously, the goal comes because Wan-Bissaka gets put under pressure, loses the ball, goes behind for a corner. That's the first mistake. The second mistake then comes from we've allowed them to take a short corner. Bruno's pointing that there's 2 men going short, but no one goes with him. But Bruno was that second man and he never went with him. Ball gets recycled, gets headed up in the air, drops back down. We don't compete for the second ball. There's the third mistake. Then the ball gets played out wide. Arsenal put a good cross into the box, and unfortunately, we all know that De Gea's weakest point is coming for crosses. So once again, as another header goes in David De Gea's 6-yard box, we ask, where's David De Gea? But more importantly, we say, what's Aaron Wan-Bissaka doing? Because we know, as much as I love Wan-Bissaka, he is the best on-the-floor tackler in world football, in my opinion. He's also absolutely clueless when the ball's in the air, and obviously Roy Keane mentioned it at half-time. He looks around, he knows where Nketiah is, but at the same time he just lets him walk straight past him and score. It's his biggest issue. I've said about it with Wan-Bissaka before, so he has to take a lot of the blame for the end of that goal. But like I say, between playing the goal kick short, Wan-Bissaka getting played into trouble in the first place, not coming short for the corner, not dealing with the second ball, and then of course handling the cross. That's 5 mistakes just for Arsenal's first goal. Second goal, can't even remember the second goal off the top of my head right now, but the Saka goal. That comes from our own set piece, whereby we've not got ourselves back in our shape properly. Saka's done the smart thing. He's recognised that over the course of the first 60 minutes of the game that Luke Shaw has essentially completely nullified him, and I'll stand by that. I think Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, for the most part, when it came to one-on-one challenges, were handling Martinelli and Saka well. But on the goal, he's caught out of shape from coming back on the set play. Saka has decided to attack Eriksen instead, who is much less adept at handling that. And obviously Saka scores a phenomenal shot into the far post where I can't really have a go at anyone in that situation. It's just a really good goal from Bukayo Saka. But again, it's been created by not getting back into shape from our own set play. We then get the equaliser. Like I said, we'd come back to goalkeeping. Ramsdale being the anti-De Gea, as I like to call him. where De Gea comes for nothing, Ramsdale comes for everything, and because he came for a ball he probably shouldn't have gone for, we ended up getting a rather lucky equaliser. And then it goes back to Ten Hag, because at 2-2, in a game that we have to win, he then decides a draw's enough. And the proof of that is that we saw no Garnacho until after the Arsenal scored. We saw no Elanga at all. We saw no Pellistri at all. We even had someone like Mainu on the bench, who is a creative midfielder, might have been able to, maybe not the right sort of game to bring him on, but if you're going to put him on the bench, you've still got to do something about it. But he's decided not to bring any more attacking impetus on, which is a huge error, in my opinion, from Erik Ten Hag. And whether or not it's his instructions or just the way the players' attitude were, we just dropped back deeper and deeper and deeper. Shaw and Wan-Bissaka stopped getting out to Saka and Martinelli, allowing them to start getting into the box, meaning that we then couldn't put challenges in on them, which is just absolute madness. We brought Fred on, but all that did was just make us play even deeper. Like I say, I don't know if this is all down to the manager or if the players have made a subconscious decision to start taking a step back, but given the fact that all of those players knew we needed to win this game, I'm assuming this one's coming down to the manager. And you just knew the goal was going to come. We sat deeper and deeper. Arsenal kept putting balls into the box. We had the warning sign when Nketiah fluffed his lines and kicked it straight at De Gea. A good save, but a bad miss. And it just kept going on, and we got deeper. And not only were we getting deeper, but we were getting narrower, and it was just making it even harder to get out. We had no one up the field. Weghorst went from a centre-forward to a centre-back in the last 10 minutes. Rashford wasn't left upfield to make runs in behind. We were just hoofing it back to Arsenal every time we got it back. And eventually the goal came. And look, I need to see the lines. I am very concerned that at the time of recording this, we are yet to see the lines. I am recording this at the moment the full-time whistle has gone. So I've not seen the lines for Zinchenko or for Nketiah. Zinchenko looks incredibly tight to Martinez, but from my sort of alignment of the camera angle, I think Zinchenko's just about on. But from that goal line technology camera angle for Eddie Nketiah, I am absolutely convinced that leg from Nketiah that's sticking up in the air, pointing towards the goal, is ahead of any part of Wan-Bissaka. And I am right now convinced that he's offside. So I definitely need to see that again. And obviously when the lines are shown to us, if the lines are shown to us, if he's onside, I'll say fair enough. He's onside. Goal should stand, and we'll moan about everything else in relation to that goal as per, again, we're too far away from the play. It's another ball into the box. It's another goal in De Gea's 6-yard box, although I can't really moan at him for this one as it's taken about 3 bobbles before it reaches Nketiah, but we've just let that happen. Like I said, we needed to win this game. We're the team catching right now. I said coming into this game that Arsenal were the team that should be scared of us, and I was pretty convinced that Arsenal were scared of us, and that became evident. I said about the crowd going silent. I know the crowd did get behind Arsenal, but they were quiet for a spell when we made it 2-2. There was it was almost like their belief had risen when they went 2-1 up, and then it all went a little bit flat when we equalised, and we just didn't capitalise on it. I don't quite understand why. And obviously we'll hear Erik Ten Hag's post-match interview shortly, and I may put something in the comments based off of what he said, but for me, he's just got it all wrong today. Absolutely all wrong. And, you know, managers are judged by overall season achievements and accomplishments, but they're also judged on how they perform in big games. And today, Erik Ten Hag, in my opinion, has got a big game completely wrong. And that's what cost us the game today because, like I said, maybe it's arrogance, I don't know. But for me, Arsenal weren't particularly good today. For me, if Arsenal play like that for the rest of the season, they're not going to win the league. Because for me, that's not a team that's good enough to win the league. But we've allowed them to beat us by not going at them. And like I was trying to say a second ago, I stand by what I said the other day. I'm convinced if we played to our full potential and just went at this Arsenal team, they'd roll over and die because I just don't think they're good enough. The fact that we've played that bad and only lost 3-2 in the 90th minute tells you really how poor Arsenal were. Because if they are supposed to be league winners, they should be beating a team playing as badly as we are a lot easier than they actually did. And I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed and frustrated because I just think they're there for the taking. And it was kind of reminiscent of when City played Liverpool earlier in the season when, I know, I was going to say everyone was beating Liverpool, and I know not everyone's beating Arsenal. They're winning a lot of games at the moment. But City showed Liverpool too much respect on that day rather than just turning up and beating them. And we've done the same to Arsenal today. We should have been looking at the goals that we scored, saying Rashford's got the beating of these defenders, and if we start putting Ramsdale under pressure, we'll cause problems. But instead, we've just gone, well, no, let's not overcommit. Let's just be a little bit safe. Let's just make sure we don't lose the game. And we've lost the game by not trying to lose the game. And that's reminiscent of your Jose Mourinho and your Ole Solskjaer approach. That's not how Erik ten Hag's teams lose games. But I want to know what the decisions were today. I want to understand why things have gone the way they've gone today. I am still utterly convinced that we should be beating a team like Arsenal, irrespective of their position in the table. Players on the pitch versus our players on the pitch, we should be beating that team. We really should. And in my opinion, Ten Hag has absolutely bottled it today. He's the one that's got scared, not Arsenal, like I said that they would be. Ten Hag's the one that's got scared, and he's allowed Arsenal to win this game. So I think he's got some big answers, big questions to answer over the coming days as to his approach to this game, because let's not forget, even though we've got some relatively nice Premier League fixtures coming up over the next few weeks, and you'd have to say surely the title chance has gone now. We're not going to catch Arsenal with the gap they've put on us now, but we've got two massive games against Barcelona coming up. We've got a semi-final against Nottingham Forest coming up in 4 days' time. So there's a quick turnaround before the big games start coming again. And a mindset shift needs to be had from Erik ten Hag if we're going to win the big games. Don't get me wrong, I still think we should be beating Nottingham Forest over 2 legs. God help us if we don't. But it's less than a month until we play Barcelona. And with respect, they're better than Arsenal. And if we play like that, we're going to get done over like Real Madrid got done over a few days ago. So that's my biggest worry coming out of this game. I'm disappointed with the approach. I'm disappointed with the performance. And I hope that off the back of it, we'll see some sort of change. Maybe a couple more signings in. I don't know. I don't think we've got the money to do that. But hopefully we'll make some sort of tactical change the next time a big team rolls around. But as always, let me know down in the comments your thoughts. Give me some stick for saying that Man United were going to win this game 3-0. Something I still believe was possible if we just went for it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll be back for my reaction to the Nottingham Forest game on Wednesday.